The recent improvements to the job support scheme has caused many, understandably, to ask again, how are we going to pay for the cost of this economic support? When are we going to repay government debt? How are we going to do that? What are the numbers looking like? It's expected that government debt will reach around 400 billion by the time of the financial statement, which is now scheduled for the 25th of November. You'll remember, maybe, it was just over 350, actually not just over, it was 372 billion in the summertime. And at the time of the budget, at the 11th of March, it was scheduled to be 55 billion for this year, including a 12 billion focused special one-off COVID support stimulus, if only 12 billion. But it's important, I think, to relate those incredibly large numbers to GDP. And at the moment, debt represents 100% of gross domestic product. So we owe the same amount as we produce in a year. That's unprecedented. No, it isn't. We had 250% debt GDP relationship after the Second World War. And it took us till the early 60s to get that relationship back down to 100%. Then by around the 1990s, we got it down to 20%, a much more healthy looking relationship, 20% debt to GDP. It crept up again, in fact, shot up again in 2007 and 8. So we're looking at 100% right now. And it's important to remember that history shows us and the future shows us that the way to repay that debt is not a one-off immediate payment. You pay that debt down over a number of years through a blended approach. And that will include taxation. The International Monetary Fund, on the 29th of October, the managing director of the IMF said very clearly that economies should continue to stimulate, countries should continue to stimulate their economies. They should continue to spend money to support their economies and provide economic stimulus, both fiscal and monetary stimulus. In the long run, of course, and it's important that we focus on this, in the long run, there will be required for there to be a plan to put public finances back on a more stable footing. And that will include taxation, of course. The Chancellor, our Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, seized on that comment from the Managing Director of the IMF to effectively corroborate the plan that we have in the UK, the strategy that we're adopting here, which is to continue to stimulate and support, and then with the benefit of knowledge and experience, put the tax plan in place when we know more. So no need for immediate, today, changes to increase taxation. We'll have a budget next year. We'll know what's going to happen then. There will be tax changes. There has to be tax changes, and we will understand more what there will be next year.